Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It's your friend and fishing expert here with the report you've been waiting for. This is the detailed fishing forecast for southern Ontario, Canada, for the week of the 3rd of November to the 9th of November 2025. Friends, let me tell you, this is not a normal week. We are looking at a perfect storm of fishing conditions. We have a major full moon event colliding head-on with a classic late autumn weather system. Will it be a bonanza or will it be a bust? Well, stick with me because I've crunched the data and I'm going to tell you exactly how to navigate this week to put some serious fish in the boat or on the end of your line. This week is all about timing, and if you play your cards right, it could be one for the memory books. First, let's break down our two most important targets for this time of year, steelhead and walleye. These fish are on the move and feeding heavily, but you have to know where to find them as the conditions change almost daily. Let's start with those chrome rockets, the steelhead. With the rain we're expecting midweek, the tributaries are going to get a much-needed flush of fresh, stained water. This is the dinner bell for steelhead. They will be pushing upriver from the main lake, feeling secure under the cover of that murky water. You want to focus your efforts on the lower sections of rivers and creeks, especially around current breaks, pools and gravel runs. Look for any structure that will give them a place to rest out of the main current. My advice is to use a float fishing setup. A 9 to 13 foot rod is perfect. Under your float, drift natural-looking presentations like trout beads in mottled orange or chartreuse or small spawn sacks. The key is getting a perfect drag-free drift. You want that bait to look like it's just naturally washing downstream. On the clearer days, before and after the rain, you might also find them staging at the river mouths, and casting small, bright spoons can be absolutely deadly. Now, for the walleye. Oh friends, this is a prime time for big, gator-sized walleye. Forget the shallow summer spots. They are transitioning to their late fall and winter haunts. This means you should be looking at main lake structures, deep offshore reefs, long tapering points that drop into deep water, and sharp underwater ledges are where they'll be. This week, with the full moon's influence, the low light periods are going to be pure magic. The first hour after sunrise and the last hour before sunset will be your golden hours. During the day, they'll likely be holding deep right on the bottom between 25 and 40 feet of water. A vertically jigged lipless crankbait or a jig tipped with a large minnow presented right on their nose can trigger a strike. But as evening approaches, those big females will move up onto the tops of those structures to feed. This is when you can catch them by trolling deep-diving crankbaits that mimic cisco or perch. Pay close attention to your sonar. Finding the schools of baitfish is the key because the walleye will be right there with them. All right, let's get into the science of it. Why is this week so special? Let's talk conditions. First up, the weather. The week starts out unusually mild, but a cold front is scheduled to move through around midweek. Well, sea temperatures drop from the low 50s Fahrenheit, that's about 10 to 13 degrees Celsius, down into the high 30s, which is about 3 or 4 degrees Celsius by the weekend. This will be accompanied by a falling barometer ahead of the rain on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, which is a massive feeding trigger for most predatory fish. Then, as the front passes, the pressure will spike for Friday and Saturday, which can make for a tougher bite. It's a classic autumn roller coaster. The water temperature in the Great Lakes region is hovering around 50 degrees Fahrenheit, or 10 degrees Celsius. This is cold, friends. The fish's metabolism is slowing down, but they also know winter is coming, so they are strapping on the feed bag. This temperature concentrates both baitfish and predators into predictable areas. They'll seek out the most stable, comfortable water they can find, which is often in deeper areas or near structure that holds a bit of warmth. Finally, the main event, the moon phase. We are leading up to a full moon on Wednesday, November 5th. The days leading up to it and the day of are traditionally considered some of the best fishing times of the entire month. The strong gravitational pull gets the fish active and feeding, and the bright nights can extend the bite window well after dark, especially for nocturnal feeders like walleye. So with all that information, let's put it together into a day-by-day battle plan. Here is your detailed forecast for the week. On Monday, the 3rd of November, I'm calling for a good day of fishing. The weather will be mild and the moon is a waxing gibbous, almost full. Fish will be active and feeding in anticipation of the coming changes. It's a fantastic day to be on the water, to pre-fish your spots and figure out patterns before the weather turns. On Tuesday, the 4th of November, the bite gets upgraded to excellent. This is the day before the full moon. We should see the barometer starting to fall and some light rain moving in. This is the classic prefrontal feed-up. Fish will be aggressive. Both walleye and steelhead should be chewing heavily. This is one of the best days of the week, without a doubt. On Wednesday, the 5th of November, it's the main event, and I am calling it another excellent day. It's the day of the full moon. The bite will be intense, but focused around those low-light periods of dawn and dusk. The added cloud cover and rain will make the daytime bite solid as well. Don't miss the moonrise in the evening. It's often a major trigger for walleye. For Thursday, the 6th of November, the forecast is good but tricky. The day after the full moon can still be very productive, and the rain will have the rivers running perfectly for steelhead. The bite on the main lake might become a little less predictable as the initial feeding frenzy winds down. This is the day to focus on those tributaries. On Friday, the 7th of November, things get tough. I have to rate this day as fair at best. A big temperature drop arrives and the skies will likely clear, bringing high bluebird skies. This is a classic post-frontal situation with high atmospheric pressure. Fish will get tight-lipped and pushed down deep. You'll need to slow your presentation way down and be extremely patient. For Saturday, the 8th of November, it remains fair. The conditions will be stable but cold. This is the first full day of the new high-pressure system. Fish will still be adjusting and a bit sluggish. The bite windows will be short and subtle. You have to be right on top of the fish with a slow presentation. It will be a grind but rewarding if you stick with it. Finally, on Sunday, the 9th of November, the forecast bounces back to good. A slight warming trend begins and the fish will have had a couple of days to acclimate to the new pressure system. They will start to get active and feed again as they adjust. It should be a fantastic way to end the week, with the fish looking up and ready to eat again. And that's the breakdown for an incredible week of fishing, my friends. It's a week of big changes, but with big changes come big opportunities. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this forecast helps you get on the fish. As always, tight lines and nikvosta, ni cheshwi, that's neither tail nor scale, for good luck. If you found this useful, do me a favor and hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop me a comment below. I want to hear your plans for the week. What are you targeting? And if you get out there, come back and let us know how you did. Until next time, fish on